All right, Grandpa, we're good to go. All right, start off with, what is your name?
Edmer Fast.
All right, your name is Edmer Fast. How old are you?
I'm 82 years old.
Okay, and where do you live currently?
Where do I live? In Bloomenort, Manitoba.
Wow, that's a long ways away from here.
1,300 miles.
Where are you currently, right now?
Where am I?
Where are you right now?
Right now I'm in Gig Harbor, Washington.
That's a long ways away.
That is a little bit, yeah. Yeah. It's, I figured 1,300 miles.
Wow, and why did you come here?
Oh, I've got family here. I have to come and see my family all the time. I've got 3 daughters living in Washington. Grandkids, great grandkids. So,
How many great grandkids do you have?
4. 3 in Washington.
If you could repeat it again, I have
4 great grandkids, 3 of them living in the state of Washington.
And where's the other one?
The other one's in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Wow. So how did you actually get here?
I have a little car and I like to drive. I go out here.
All by yourself?
All by my lonely self.
Is this the first time you've done it?
Oh no. I don't know how many times I've done it, but I average about 1.5 times a year.
And how long does it take you to do that?
This particular trip took me 2.5 days. I used to do it in 2 days, but because of my age, I slow down a little bit.
Do you stay at motels or?
I stay in motels mostly, yeah. When I travel the Canadian route, then I have friends where I stay, and I don't spend that much time in motels. But when I travel the U.S. side, then I stay in motels.
Do you actually like going ahead and doing all the driving?
I love driving. I enjoy it.
So how long have you been driving? Have you always done long trips like this?
Well, 1957 is probably when the long trips started. My wife and I and 2 little girls moved to Mexico as missionaries. And then of course, being based in Manitoba, we made the trip to Manitoba and back quite often. And then later years I was director of the field operations in Mexico and did a lot of driving. I averaged, actually the last 12 years on the field, I averaged 1 trip around the globe every year.
Wow. So what are some of the challenges you have when you travel? What are some of the challenges you face when you travel?
Boy, I don't know. Traffic, but no, that's not so big a deal. I don't know if there are that many challenges. I enjoy driving. It's a relaxation.
Let's see. What do you actually enjoy about charging? Aside from the relaxation, what do you actually enjoy about driving? Doing the traveling?
Boy, I tell you, I've never analyzed that. But I like scenery. I like to travel roads that have character. I very often take the number 2 rather than the interstate because it's the old towns and so on going through. This kind of thing. And I like scenery. When my wife was still around, we would go through like Rocky Mountain National Park and this kind of thing. Yellowstone, camp out. That was a joy. Both of us like to motor.
Are there any places along the trip that you really enjoy?
Well, Yellowstone is a place that we visited a number of times, and we really enjoyed. And then going down south, Texas, the Palo Verde Canyon, that area, and of course we had always enjoyed the New Mexico, Arizona desert.
Let's see. What are some of the do you have future plans of continuing to drive and come back?
My driving is going to become less and less. I'll just wonder, is this the last time I'm going to drive or isn't it? But no, I don't think it's quite the last time yet, but never can tell. But it certainly is not what it used to be.
In what way is it?
Well, I'm old, I can't handle the long days, I don't know, it's just your drive is gone.
When was the first time that you remember driving a car? Or driving a vehicle?
I was 17 years old when I first drove a car, and I learned to drive. Pardon me, I was 16 years old. I drove a right-hand drive army truck, and I learned to drive.
Was that in the military or?
No, it was army surplus material that was given to the civilians, and my older brothers bought one and converted it into a good gravel hauling business up in Manitoba.
I'm surprised that you were 17 years old. You lived on a farm, didn't you?
Lived on a 80-acre farm, yes, but it wasn't really a farm that was enough to keep us going. Of course, that was way back then. Most of my brothers and sisters, older ones, were working out, earning money, bringing back money that way.
So, but you didn't have any trucks or tractors on the farm?
Oh no, we had horses and we had cows and we had chickens and ducks and geese, and we had 7 acres of cultivated land which I plowed with a one bottom handheld plow, cultivated with the horse, the handheld cultivator. That was my growing up years.
So basically driving a car was something that was a luxury or you didn't have at the time?
Well, we had some neighbors that had cars, but we didn't have a car.
Very cool. Did you ever think you'd be driving a car across the country when you were 80 years old, back when you were 16?
No, I didn't imagine that. I didn't imagine ever leaving even the part of Manitoba I grew up in. When I crossed the border into Ontario for the first time, which was a little bit over 100 miles, I thought I made a long trip.
Wow. So I have to ask one last question on this. Looking back over the years that you've had and all the different changes that you've had, what are some of the biggest surprises that you think, if you could go back to your 17-year-old self and show, that would just be mind-boggling?
Boy, I don't know. Surprises have been many in my life, but to think of one particular big surprise, I fell in love was quite a big surprise. I had never intended to get married. I figured I was the kind of guy that would grow up and take care of himself, and then one day one woman caught me. That was quite an experience.
Very cool. Thank you, Grandpa. I appreciate it.
I'm sure we can edit that.
Oh, we certainly can, if we need to.